My name is Nathan de Rozarieux. I'm a fisheries consultant based down in St Ives and also a fisherman.
Great. Well, I'm Julian Waring from the charity The Fisherman's Mission, and great to talk to you, Nathan. We just want to ask how COVID-19 is affecting the fishing fleet, and that's really for those viewing who are supporters and fishermen, and it's just trying to get an awareness of what the impact really is.
Okay, yeah, well, so obviously supply chains, I think, all over the world now have been impacted by obviously the spread of COVID-19. What we're seeing is that local fish markets, Brixham, Plymouth and Newlyn, they all remain open, but the auctioneers that run those markets have asked to be basically kept in touch with the vessels on a daily basis and have asked really fishermen to scale back a bit their fishing. So what we're seeing is regular landings, generally smaller quantities of fish being landed, and we're seeing sort of a little demand and a lower price. So some vessels have taken the decision that it's not economic to still go to sea, so they've decided to tie up. Other vessels are continue to fish, but say on a much reduced kind of level.
Yes, and how can, I suppose, the general public and fishermen gain access if obviously prices are much reduced, as we know, and it's getting hopefully a little bit better, but how can fishermen access, get their fish to local communities, and how can the local communities therefore then support those fishermen?
At the moment, I think there's really three things that fishermen can do. I think the first thing would always be to speak to their normal buyer of fish, so whether that be a shellfish wholesaler or whether that be the fish market, or if they're in a producer organisation, speak to them to assess what the demand is for the types of fish and the quantities they'll be looking to catch. So I think that's the first thing, because obviously the traditional route to market, either through an auction or through a processor, keeps the employment going throughout the supply chain, and that's very much business as usual. Where that's not able to take landings, and we've seen that particularly in the shellfish side of things, we've seen a growing number of fishermen actually setting up using social media and selling fish and shellfish direct to the public, and actually with some success. So there's people I've seen from Sennen, Newlyn, Newquay, Padstow, and they report daily. They put prices up and when and where they're going to land, and they seem to be doing okay. Obviously the question mark over that would be, how long will that demand hold up? But at the moment it looks pretty good, so that's really good. And I think locally in Cornwall you have Cornish PO and Seafood Cornwall with a sort of social media campaign, Fish to Your Door, and I think again that's trying to connect local fishermen with local fish merchants and organising deliveries out of county. So I think in county lots of the fishermen are delivering themselves, or people are coming to collect direct from vessels, small boats. Out of county, I think Fish to Your Door is trying to do the same thing, but obviously because of the transport needed, that would need to go through a local fish merchant. But I think again, particularly on social media and things like Twitter especially, most of those people that do that, there's sort of 3 or 4 companies in Cornwall that specialise in sending fish by post or by courier, dealing with the public, and they seem to be doing that. So I think people can follow that hashtag, both fishermen who are trying to say what they're catching, but also members of the public that want to help, because we're seeing many people do want to eat fish and they want to support fishermen, and it's really just making sure that we sort of connect those two parts of the chain, so we can keep sales up and keep fishermen fishing.
Indeed. Yeah, great. Thank you, Nathan.